Well, it's day 2 of Hamilton Bulldogs training camp here at Chedoke Twin Pad Arena, and I'm joined by one of the tryout players, Kelsey Wilson. And before we talk about this season, I've got to ask you about a moment in your career that took place at Rivalry Stadium. 26 seconds into the Hamilton Bulldogs versus Toronto Marlies AHL Outdoor Classic. The Dogs take a 1-0 lead. 1 second later, you drop the gloves with Zach Fitzgerald. May have turned the game around. Talk about that moment and that day.
Yeah, well, me being on the fourth line that game, I knew what my role was, and that's been my role my whole career. But like you said, they went up 1-0 early, and then Dallas put my line out there, second shift of the game, and that normally doesn't happen too often. So I saw Fitzy out there. I asked him to go. We went at it, and we ended up scoring 3 more goals later on in the first period. And I remember after the game, Dallas Eakins did an interview with Sportsnet, and he credited the turnaround to that fight, which it made me feel good. But I don't think it was entirely just because of the fight. We had a pretty talented team that year.
It was a heck of a fight too.
Yeah, it was a great fight. I think I had him at the beginning, and then I got to give it to Fitzy towards the end. He got loose, and then gave me a couple as well. So it was, I think both sides enjoyed the fight. It was a good fight. It was an outdoor classic moment, and it was awesome.
The Toronto Marlies beat the Hamilton Bulldogs 7-2, but it was a memorable day for everybody involved. Talk about the experience you had playing outdoors and playing in front of that big crowd.
Yeah, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, that's for sure. I don't know if that'll ever happen again in my career, but it was fun. I think there was 24,000 people there. That's the most people I've ever played in front of. Just quite an experience,
And you're a guy who's got a lot of experience at the professional level, and you're here at Hamilton Bulldogs training camp trying to earn a contract, and a couple days under your belt now. How do you feel out there?
Yeah, I feel good. Just working out the kinks. You skate all summer, but you don't go as hard as you do when the coaches are watching and the GMs are watching up top. You got that extra gear out here. So everyone's working out the kinks, but I think now that day 2 is done, everyone's feeling a lot more comfortable out there, and there'll be the scrimmage tomorrow will be a lot better than the past 2 days. There'll be some nice passes, some good plays, because like I said, guys are a lot more comfortable.
There does seem to be a pretty good intensity out there, though. Do you feel that on the ice?
Yeah, there is a lot of intensity. There hasn't been any fights yet, but there's a lot of hitting. Guys are crashing the net. Of course, it's going to be as intense as it can be. Everyone's trying to earn a spot here. Everyone's trying to get a job. With the rollover from last year because of the lockout, there's a lot of guys that are unemployed, and I'm one of them. So we're just here working our tails off, trying to earn a spot.
History tells us that in order to be a competitive American Hockey League team, you probably have to have a good mix of young talent and some experience to show those kids the ropes. Is that what you think you can bring to this team?
Absolutely. I've never had a coach tell me that I wasn't a great guy in the locker room. I've never had a problem with my work ethic, and I've won 2 championships in the past. They were both in Europe, one in England and one in Salzburg. And I've also lost in the finals to the Norfolk Admirals when I was with the Marlies. So in my 7 years, I've had some success. I've never missed the playoffs, and if I do end up sticking with the team, I'd like to bring that experience to the table and help the young guys.
The rivalry between Hamilton and Toronto exists, of course, in the CFL and now in the AHL. You've been on the Marlies side of it. Do you look forward to being on the Bulldogs side?
Oh, absolutely. I speak French, so some of these guys that just speak French amongst themselves can't get anything past me. So yeah, I'd be honored to play for the Canadiens organization or the Bulldogs. It's I'm a French Canadian from Ontario, so it'd be great.
Well, this guy's one of those guys who you hate when your team's playing against him, but you love it when he's playing for your team. You've looked good through 2 days. Continued success here at training camp.
Thanks a lot, Derek. I appreciate it.
There's Hamilton Bulldogs forward Kelsey Wilson following day 2 of Hamilton Bulldogs training camp here at Chedoke Twin Pad Arenas.